Alright, how's it going, guys? This is Metzley again. So this video we're going to talk about the different graphical settings and what effect they have on your game, like how you could adjust it to maybe see better performance in RAID, or maybe you're having issues with certain effects not showing up. So if you go to System, Graphics and Display, you get all these different buttons that do a whole bunch of things. So these top ones are presets, so they'll adjust your resolution and all these other sliders to match basically based on how your phone is. It should automatically set you to one that'll work, but you might still have problems. Now, if you're having problems with the game lagging, your best way to adjust that quickly is turn down shadows and or lower your resolution. So Ultimate is displaying in basically UHD, so I believe it's pretty close to 4K resolution or equivalent, but as you go down you lower the resolution, which drastically decreases how much of your phone's processing power you're using. So if you're having lag issues or texture loading issues, that sort of thing, turning down your resolution is the first place to start. The next most graphically intensive thing would be shadows. The shadows in this game don't look great anyway, so if you're having any issues at all, just turn the shadows off, or at least down to minimum. Alright, so these friendly and total characters things. Friendly, if you've got it set to 25, you'll see every player in the raid when you're in raid. Now if you've got like an older phone, or you run a lot of other stuff in the background on your phone, and you try to max out the character models, you're probably going to get throttled on your CPU. So you're going to see issues with texture loading, you're going to see issues with not seeing all the effects. So if you're not playing with a really high-end phone, you should probably turn this down. Like if you turn it to 1, you're not going to see the character models of any other players in the raid, you'll just see like their name and title. But if you're having performance issues, that's the best thing to do, because you can still see their names, so if you need to stack, just go where the clump of names are. So this high frame, I believe this changes you from 30 FPS to 60 FPS. This is another one where it's really like processor intensive, because you're essentially playing the game at twice the frame rate. So if you're having any kind of issues, definitely don't turn this on, which the game warns you about it anyway. Turning on a high frame rate mode is going to speed up power consumption and heating and lower performance. So you should only be enabling that if you have a really high-end phone. Total characters. So a way to explain this is it's all the different characters, including NPC models, enemies, whatever. So if you have friendly set all the way to 25, you're only going to be able to see the first 15 closest enemy models or NPCs. So in a raid setting, if there's going to be like a lot of trash enemies and stuff like that, you might have to drop down your friendly models so that you can see all of the enemies. So field of view, what this should do in a normal game is widen your screen, but I don't think that's what this actually does. I think it's more along the lines of depth of field, and it's just a poor translation. So assuming this is depth of field like I think it is, what adjusting it should do is things that are further away should go out of focus, so they should be a little blurrier. I could be wrong with that, but there's no actual field of view change that I've been able to see, so I don't think it's actually field of view. Because you can see when we changed it, it didn't really affect much of anything at all. So I wouldn't worry too much about that particular setting. So effect is one that's super important for your raids. So all the little circles on the ground, the circles surrounding you for the bombs, AoEs, all that kind of stuff is on effects. So you need to balance the rest of your graphical settings around your effects being maxed out. So lower whatever you need to so that you can keep effects all the way up. Otherwise you're not going to be able to see some of these AoEs, or like especially on Idion, the meteors that you need to soak. If you don't have effects all the way up, you're not going to be able to see the meteors. So then you're not going to be able to do the mechanic and you're going to kill your raid. Ambient, from what I can tell, it's like the processing of trees and foliage and all that. So again, if you're having like issues with lag, that sort of thing, just turn it off, because it's just extra plants and whatnot, which means there's more thing that the game is trying to render shadows on and movement. So it's just additional things that are taking up your processing power that you don't need. So anti-aliasing kind of reduces the blurriness of edges. So the only thing you can really see it on with the menu open is if you can see the edge of this chat box or the menu box, how it gets sharper when I turn anti-aliasing on. But it just has that general effect. You can kind of see it's over on the buildings to the left hand side of the screen as well, over here. Like when I throttle it off, you can see how the lines on the buildings get a little bit blurrier, they're not as sharp. And then texture filtering just kind of sharpens the actual textures of the world. So both of those things will cost you a little bit of performance, but it's not huge. Now, one I definitely recommend you turn off is auto adjust. So auto adjust, if your game starts lagging, or even if the game thinks it's lagging, it's going to turn a whole bunch of your settings down to nothing by itself. So you're just going to see the game crap out. I recommend you turn that off, just adjust your settings, figure out what works for you, and just manually keep your settings. Now, power consumption is kind of up to you. So like if you're AFK farming, the power thing, it will reduce your frame rate, graphics, and all that, so that as you're AFK, you're not using as much of your battery. So it's up to you if you want to use it or not. I don't use it, but I play on a PC emulator. If you're playing on your phone and you're AFK farming, you might have trouble actually charging your phone if you don't play with the power consumption thing on. The rest of these are just kind of whose names and titles you want to see and all that sort of stuff. It's no big deal. But hopefully that gave you a better idea of how you can adjust these different graphical settings so that you can play, like have a better play experience. Or if you're just not able to rate at all, maybe some of these changes will fix your problems. But anyway, if you guys have any requests or suggestions for other tutorial videos for World of Kings, just let me know, put a comment below. Other than that, I'll see you in the next video.